Okay, today we're going to do the flyback converter. This is very similar to an isolated, well, essentially it is an isolated buck boost converter. Okay, let's do this. So if we recall, a buck boost converter, just essentially voltage source in series with a switch. We have an inductor, we have a diode, output capacitor, right? This is our buck boost. What does the flyback look like? Well, very similar, okay? A flyback, we have a transformer. We have a switch. Dot conventions are important. I'll explain that in a second. What's going on? Okay. So, we have this. Our L is transformed from the inductor to a transformer. We can put our diode the opposite direction because of the dot convention right here. Our current essentially is exiting through this hole right here. So, our polarity is reversed. So let's do our on and off phase here. Now, one thing to note is that there's actually erased. One thing to note, there's actually like a magnetizing LM right here. Now, I'll talk about the importance of that in a second. So, again, during the on phase, the switch, actually, let's change that a bit. The switch is on, okay? The secondary side is not conducting. And let's point out that this is ratio of 1 to n right here. So this is n number of turns. So we have negative Vn plus VL equals 0, or VL equals Vn. Great. So, in the off phase, this is no longer on. However, this is VL now. The diode is conducting, and we have a V out. So we have positive VL plus V out equals 0, or VL equals negative V out. Now, one thing to note right here, this was a 1 times n, so it's actually, this is divided by n. I'm sorry, so this is multiplied by n right there. So then, let's get rid of this division symbol. Right? So then VL becomes 1 over n. V out over n. Okay, so, of course, we have our waveforms. D on, D prime off. We have our ramping up, V in over L, ramping down, and that's the slope, ramping down, V out over N over L. So then doing the equation, we have a D V in over L minus D prime V out over N over L equals 0. We can get rid of the L's. and move this over. We could do some division. So, as we could see, it's very similar to a buck boost with the exception of N, the turns ratio. So, what we can do basically is have a lot of turns, N, and then we could jack up the voltage. Thank you.